yes, they've done a lot to spruce up St. Pete, but there's not a ton around the ballpark. So you have to go into St. Pete. It's not, it's just, if you build it in the right place, people will come. I promise you. Look at the Rays TV ratings. They're great. Attendance, not so great because of the ballpark.
The Tampa Bay Rays might need a name change soon. So we get the news officially from the press release, and AJ's dancing because this puts them one step closer to perhaps another city. But here's Brian Hoke saying the Rays announced they're not moving forward with a new ballpark in St. Petersburg. Hal Steinbrenner has said the Yankee spring training facility is only a one-year solution. Now, I did read the whole press release. It essentially said, hey, not working out with St. Pete. Clearly, they're still fighting about the money, and they're excited to get back into the Trop because that falls on St. Pete to put that together. Here is Dan, and I don't know how to say Dan's name, but he's a smart Fangraphs writer. On some level, you have to admire them for having the nerve to thank their fans for the support. With the press release, that's a long-winded way of saying thank you, and it's not thank. So anyway, AJ, we get this news actually much earlier than expected. The deadline for them to come up with the money in the deal here with St. Petersburg was March 31st. We're weeks out. Do you think this means that something might change? We've had so much back and forth for 20 years with the Rays, for 20 years with the A's. MLB's waiting for this stuff to happen. The latest negotiation back and forth, essentially, I'm paraphrasing here on what's going on, is that you had a hurricane, it stalled things, it makes the project cost more, and the Rays don't want to foot the bill for the extra money. And St. Petersburg's like, this is it. We are not giving you any more public tax dollars.
Yeah, that, and I don't know that Sternberg has the money to. He has to come up with what, $700 million or some crazy number for half of
Something
the
in that
stadium
range. Yep.
or whatever it was. So I mean, there's rumors also that they weren't sure that he had the money. So I think this is a combination of a lot. I don't think they're going to be back in St. Pete. You've already seen rumors of Manfred saying, "Hey, other owners saying, hey, we got to get a new ownership group in there to make things happen." And I think that's the most logical step. Nest is Stu and his group of people have to sell to the highest bidder, and then they have to figure it out, because whether it's in Tampa, whether that's in Orlando, wherever it is, but they want to keep the team in Florida. They just don't know where it's going to be. Now, Tampa makes obviously the most sense because they already have a built-in fan base of being the Tampa Bay Rays. But if that can't, they've been trying to get a stadium there for 20 plus years and it hasn't worked out. But hey, there's a town not far down the street that it starts with an O and ends in an O, Orlando, that would welcome them gladly.
Do we think this is done? Like, does this press release really tell us the Rays
Yes,
and that
it's done with this
project are done?
ownership group. It's done with this ownership group to me. I believe. I think this is the end of, because don't forget, the mayor of St. Pete already came out and said, we've done everything we can. We're at the end of our rope. It's time for them to do something, right? It's time for Sternberg and his group to do something. So I think, to me, the mayor jumped it and said, hey, I'm not going to be the mayor that loses the team. So I'm going to put the pressure on them. And then the Rays to come out and say, thank you for all your support and whatever. And then Brian Hoke saying it's only a one-year situation, and them saying, oh, we're not pursuing this, because let's not forget, there's a lot of real estate people that had big plans for this area. I mean, it was across the street in the parking lot. They were looking at like a battery type of thing. So for them to come out and say it's not happening, it's a big blow to the city of St. Petersburg, but it's also a big blow to money people in the city of St. Pete in that area, because people had invested money in it. So that's why I think it's dead. I don't know. Can you revive it? Possibly. But I think it's time for them. They're going to have to figure out another situation.
Yeah. Kratz, a new ownership group can revive it if they take over and say, hey, we're going to honor that deal. But that's got to happen in the next few weeks. The team's not getting sold in 2.5 weeks.
No, not getting sold, and not like, you can't just find that kind of money. Like, it's hard to be like, I got 500 million, but where am I going to come up with the other 260 million to suffice what I need for the stadium? To me, I think it's a great job by the government, whoever I think the mayor made the decision, governor made the decision to stand firm. Like, no, we can't pay more. We've already committed a lot. And in this case, you own a business, you want to have it somewhere, you have to step up. And if he's not willing to step up, go ahead and move on, because this isn't just sell the Rays and that's it. Manfred's already drawn a line in the sand and said, if we don't get the situation with the A's and Rays taken care of first, we can't go to expansion. So now you have the head honcho saying, okay, we have to push this. so that we can each get our $2 billion expansion fees for all the owners. It's a lot of money. $4 billion for 2 new expansion teams. It'll be under Manfred's legacy.
Yeah, there has to be a competition in order for MLB to get what it wants with public tax dollars, real estate, etc. Right? So just to explain this, let's say the top 2 contenders on the west side of the country are Portland and Salt Lake City, okay? And on the east side, it's one of the big cities in the Carolinas, right? Like what have we been talking about? Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte. Yeah, kind of
or
that
Nashville.
world, or Nashville. You can't eliminate one of those top contenders because then it takes leverage away, right? Because they're going to say, hey, for example, Portland, Salt Lake City, let's break down the finances. Which city is giving us the most money? Which city is giving us the most real estate, the best project around the stadium that includes owning everything possible to make this as lucrative as possible. That is what happens in this analysis when they're figuring out which team is going to get a new team, or right, which city's going to get a new team, AJ. So it can't just be one city. So anyway, that's why they want to keep that intact.
Don't forget Vegas. They already lost Vegas because that was one that was rumored for an expansion team. That's why the A's saying we're going to move to Vegas kind of put a hitch in their giddy up, so to speak, right? Because that was the one city where everyone's like, oh, Vegas is the place. They'll figure out how to get the money like the Golden Knights did. And the Vegas people were like, yes, we'll take an expansion team. We just don't want to use team like the A's. So that's why when the A's announced, oh, we're going to Vegas, then they're like, oh, man, who else can we come up with on the West Coast? Because you kind of got to do one East and West. That's where Salt Lake has kind of been bidding. Portland's kind of out there, right? And you have Nashville and the Carolinas, whether it's Raleigh, Durham, or Charlotte. So that would put them in 4. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that the fact that you have 2 teams playing in a minor league park this year is crazy to me. 2 major league teams are playing in minor league parks. That's insane to me. And also you got to figure out Tampa. You got to figure out when Vegas is finally done. And if you want to do expansion, I think it's a few years away because of all the other things going on. But you got to find the right fit for these teams because you don't want an expansion team going, let's say, to Portland. And I'm just using Portland or Salt Lake or wherever it is. And then 5 years from now say, no, this isn't viable. We can go to the other one that also bid. You don't want that. You want them to be established franchises for a long time.
More in a minute, but first, a quick word from our sponsor of this video. Kratz, do you like spending an hour on grocery shopping?
Nope. Speed up the process, please.
Introducing Hungryroot to the FT fam.
Now we can all be bougie with our own personal shopper to handle the food shopping, including Rex, based on what you're looking to put in your body.
I stack my Hungryroot box with items like gluten-free, dairy-free, blueberry waffles for breakfast, shrimp veggie bowls for lunch, and a little filet mignon with potatoes and broccolini for dinner.
You can also say just, hey, Hungryroot, I eat paleo, or I'm vegetarian, and they load up your cart with personalized recommendations.
And those recs keep evolving as they learn about what you're into. Also, no BS, as in no artificial sweeteners or preservatives in any of Hungryroot's food. You're going to love Hungryroot as much as FT does. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/FT and use code FT. That's hungryroot.com/FT, code FT to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. And now back to the video. Here's the thing that's crazy to me, AJ, is I get that there's a standoff when there are, negotiations. And we just saw that in the dispute with the Orioles and the Nationals over their TV rights that finally got settled. And as Ken Rosenthal called it, the 100 Years War. We've essentially seen this now with the Rays and the A's. I mean, we're close to 2 decades of staring matches and projects that have not happened, right? This was signed, sealed, delivered. We did the whole press release. Let's talk about it. Spend a nice 15, 20 minutes on FT, how awesome this is going to be. They deserve a new park. The Trop is not pretty. I mean, this is 17 plus years now of working on this. So I do actually think, I agree with you, that at this point, you're not going to see this ownership group figure it out with St. Pete. I mean, they've made that quite clear. And the other side of the equation here is, will they actually sell and will they do it soon? Or will it get ugly with MLB and even the MLBPA? Because part of this whole equation is revenue sharing money. And it's estimated that the Rays get about $60 million per year in free money from the league to operate as a smaller market franchise. There are also other smaller market franchises that are pissed about it.
Hold up. I want to know why the Rays are considered small market. Explain that to me, because they're in the top. I think they're 12th in TV markets. They're 12th. They're not like Vegas is like I think 40th or in the late 30s. Tampa Bay area is 12th in a TV market. So why are they considered small market?
Yeah, you're right. It looks like they're top 12. I mean, I'm on Wikipedia real quick for TV markets right now, and it looks like Tampa St. Pete is number 11, and the Bay Area is number 10. And the A's obviously had been getting all that kind of money for a long time
what's
too.
funny is the A's didn't get that money. That's why when they moved to Sacramento, they did get the money because that's why they had to spend the money, right?
Yep.
It's like Miami. Why is Miami not spending the money? Miami's like top 10 markets.
No, they're listed as 18, so they're a little bit lower.
Okay, so they're 18, so they're smaller than Tampa. Okay,
Yeah.
but Miami's been getting money and they're not spending it. So why are they getting a pass, right? That's why I think this is so frustrating and confusing to people, is because nobody really knows who gets what money. No one's really coming out and saying, "Oh, well, Pittsburgh gets money," or this. Why would Tampa get money? They're 11th in TV size. Isn't that supposed to be a big market?
Yeah. What about the people that say, "Hey, Florida doesn't care; they can't support baseball"?
I disagree.
I disagree too.
I disagree. You put the stadium in the right place. You do the right thing. You build up the area around it. I mean, listen, Miami has a great new giant stadium. They put it in a bad spot. Say what you want about where the Dolphins play in Lauderdale, but you can draw from Palm Beach, Boca, Lauderdale, and Miami. In Miami, nobody from Lauderdale and north is going to drive down to Miami to a stadium that, quite frankly, isn't easy to get to. There's really bad parking, and it's not. I mean, listen, it ain't in the greatest area, okay? I mean, you remember where the old Orange Bowl was, Scott? You went to the University of Miami.
I worked at the old Orange Bowl, yeah.
I mean, and I don't mean that rudely at all, but it just isn't in a great spot. And then you take Tampa, nobody from Tampa East, Orlando-ish, and even you throw Sarasota and them in there. Not a lot of people want to go over the giant bridge, the Sunshine Causeway, which is the huge bridge, and nobody wants to go over one of the other bridges from Tampa because they always get backed up, and it could take you 30 minutes, it could take you 3 hours. You just never know, and it's just a pain. Yes, they've done a lot to spruce up St. Pete, but there's not a ton around the ballpark, so you have to go into St. Pete. It's just, if you build it in the right place, people will come. I promise you. Look at the Rays TV ratings. They're great. Attendance, not so great because of the ballpark.
Well, just because we're Florida residents, and obviously you're Mr. Orlando, but you know the state really well. I've seen comments on clips when we talked about this topic, and some people have said, well, there would be plenty of traffic issues in Tampa, and it's not like Orlando is a breeze with traffic either compared to many other spots. What's your response to that? Like, if it does end up in one of those places, will it be easier?
It depends, again, where they put it. Now, there's main thoroughfares in both of those spots, right? If in Tampa, where some of the projected stadiums have gone. But again, if you build up the area around it and make it a destination like they did in the Battery, because guess what they said about the Battery in Atlanta? Oh, it's traffic. There's da-da-da-da-da. People go there all the time. We've seen how much money the Braves have made off the Truist Park since they put it in, right? Look at St. Louis with Ballpark Village. There's not much around there, meaning highways and traffic and all that. But guess what? People go because there's a bunch around it. That's the key. You have to be able to put it in, put something around it. I know some of the places they've talked about in Orlando, there's multiple major highways. They've talked about putting a train station in there on the light rail so people can get in from Tampa and Miami and everywhere else to come to games. And in Tampa, you'd have to do the same thing. You just have to make it a spot where it's not just a ballpark. It has to have other things around it so people can get there at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, go have dinner, then go to the game. It's a day game. You can go have lunch, stay after, have dinner after the game. Right? So it's not just in and out. It has to be something where it's a destination with other things to do besides just the baseball. Yes, the baseball would be the main attraction, but you have to be able to have concerts there that people want to go to. You have to be able to have hotels, apartments, whatever it is, you have to have that, other attractions. That's how you make it a destination.
Yeah, restaurants, bars, right. In Atlanta, not Atlanta, Cobb County, where the Braves play, I mean, that's its own community with great food, great drinks, the whole deal. And let me tell you, I've been there plenty of times, including for the World Series. It ain't easy to get out of the ballpark right after the game. So what happens? It's a party in that area, and you just plan accordingly. In Florida, you could do the same thing, like AJ mentions. It just has not been drawn up correctly. And right now, there's just a money battle that looks like it finally hit a stalemate where the city's like, or St. Pete's like, hey, we're done. This is what we agreed to. We're not paying anymore.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.